Hey there, it's Alex here, and today I want to share my thoughts about the new lens I got. Its full name is Sigma 10 to 18mm 2.8 f-stop DCDN. It's a new model of APS-C lens by Sigma, so it's for cropped sensors only, that is filling a gap for an ultra-wide lens in their contemporary line. The camera that I use now is a Sony Alpha 600. I mostly use it for filming vlog-like videos. And honestly, vlogging wasn't easy sometimes because my primary lens is another Sigma contemporary, the 18 to 50mm 2.0 f-stop one. It's a great all-purpose lens, kind of like 24 to 70mm for full-frame sensor, but it's just not wide enough for casual vlogging, just like handheld stuff. That's why I was looking at wider lens for my Sony. Before purchasing this lens, I looked at other options too, such as Sony 10 to 18mm 4 f-stop and Tamron 11 to 20mm 2.8 f-stop. Sony could save me money because it's an old lens. Also, it has image stabilization, which is attractive for handheld stuff, but I checked some videos about it and I wouldn't say I really like the image quality. The aperture at f4 seems like a huge sacrifice too, especially for cropped sensor camera. The Tamron 11 to 20 seemed like another good option. I saw good feedbacks. It's also a new lens, and I don't think that 1mm, like 10 or 11, could make a big difference. But it wasn't much cheaper than the new Sigma, and I like my 18 to 50mm, so I decided to invest in the contemporary series again. So let's go to the lens. This lens is very minimalistic, both in function and size. It weighs just 260 grams and its body has no buttons on it. It only has rubber zoom and focus ring. As you can see, it is a tiny lens, just slightly wider at the front in the comparison to 1850mm one. Due to that, it has filter size 67mm. The lens comes with new kind of push-on lens hood that can be attached to lens in both ways. According to the manual, this lens is not waterproof, so it's your responsibility if you use it in the rain, which is okay for me because my camera is also not waterproof according to the manual. I tried to use it in a slight rain, there was no issues, but I would definitely try to avoid getting it wet. The zoom ring has 5 enumerated stops, and when I use it, I feel like I have complete control over it. It's very smooth and steady. The focus ring is smooth too, but maybe due to its size or difference in the surface, it may feel like I'm not totally attached to it. And I feel similar about the focus ring on the older lens, the 1850, so it doesn't bother me too much. In terms of quality of images and distortion, I can't tell you a lot. I'm not an expert, but here are some photos taken with this lens in different circumstances. I hope this can help. And last but not least, the vlogging test. How do you feel? Wide, isn't it? You don't feel it's wide? How about this? Boom. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So as I said, I'm using Sony a6 600. It has in-body stabilization. The lens doesn't have anything, so that's how it's gonna be when you hold the camera and walk. Right now I'm holding the camera itself, the lens itself, and yeah, you can see the angle, amount of blurriness, 2.8 f-stop, 50. The shutter speed is 50, ISO 100. Yeah, I'm sure it's a bit shaky. I tried it before. I have to be very careful with such setting, but if the story makes sense, it should be alright. Let me try to mount it on something. Okay, now I mounted the camera on a simple vlogging tripod. This is 18. I'm going to 16, 14, 12 and 10. Yeah, and my hand is like stretched, totally stretched, and you can see the amount of the angle, the amount of details, amount of surrounding in the camera, and the distortion. Again, 2.8 f-stop, the minimal, and the shutter speed is 50. Yeah, and I'm walking. My camera has in-body stabilization, but it doesn't save footage. If you're just like shooting cold, it's still pretty shaky. I'm sure. I tried, but I think acceptable if you're telling something important. All right, and now let's try to stabilize this. Okay, one more setting. Right now I mounted my camera on the gimbal. I use DJI RC3 Mini, and this is 10 millimeters now. This setup a bit heavier, so it's not really easy to hold my hand very far for a long time. Should go to the gym more often. Also I have a mic. All this time I was using my Rode video mic Go 2. Yeah, so you can have an idea of what kind of setup I'm using. I think this is already the best kind of footage quality you can get when it comes to vlogging. And honestly, I'm not using gimbal for vlogging that often, except the situations when I plan to shoot b-roll, so I bring gimbal with me. Otherwise, yeah, I just use tripod. If I have something really important to say, I will probably just like put it somewhere, mount it on the surface, and then talk to the camera. In the end, I just want to say, personally, I really like this lens. For videos, I think it's really useful. There are a lot of cases when I need it. It's always in my camera bag now. Fortunately, it's very small, it's very light. Both of these lenses are with me. I think they are really useful, and this one more useful for video because yeah, wider angle allows you to get steadier shots and get more action. Surely, if you are not landscape photographer, or you're not only shooting like very dynamic videos with wide angle, it should not be your first lens you invest in. Something like 18 to 50 milliliters is way more versatile and useful. You can still vlog with it, you can still take pretty wide shots on 18 millimeters. This really shortens your reach, so still 18 to 50 millimeters is my primary lens that stays on my camera, and I carry this one with me in my bag all the time because there are some cases when I really want to use it, and it's so light and so small, it's not a big issue. That's it. I hope this video will help you to make a decision about this lens. If you have any other questions about it or the setup I used today, please ask me in the comments. It was Alex Tchaikovsky. Thank you for watching, and till the next time.